How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? It is Kodiak here, and today you're going to be watching some pretty nifty gameplay. It is like 52 and 15 on Fracture and Combine, and basically what I want to talk about is a little bit of a rant of language classes in schools. So let's get right into it. So, I'm in Spanish 2, right? And that means I've already gone through my 1 year of Spanish. I passed, somewhat basic level. But I'm still at a pretty amateur level. Spanish 2 means that you know the language, you know some phrases and some vocabulary. That's basically what completing Spanish 1 is. In Spanish 2, you're going to start learning how to really put together proper sentences. And, yeah. So, really, and there's still a lot more vocab to learn. Basically, if you're an English speaker and you're trying to learn a different language, or basically anybody that's trying to learn a different language, you're never going to really know, and maybe at the point of your life when you're 80 or something, you're never going to know every word in that language, every piece of vocabulary in that language. So, you don't know a lot of stuff, and it's not even at the end of the first term, so we're still learning quite a bit, and we don't know a lot. So tell me why the teacher thinks it's a smart idea to teach in almost purely Spanish. Like, seriously, what is the point? Alright, I'm gonna go shut my door real quick. Shut it! So what is the point? And I don't get it. Seriously, we don't understand what you're saying. So why are you saying it? You know we don't understand it because you're using vocabulary that's supposed to be in the next term. Or maybe not even in that class. It's supposed to be in Spanish 3 or something. Now, my teacher is very cool. She is very nice. She brought in even banana cake for us. But another thing that bothers me is that how much off topic that some of these language teachers get. I've had 2 language teachers in my life because, last year I had the same teacher speak. So, I had an exploratory French class in 7th grade, and that teacher is now fired for reasons I can explain in another video, or I can even convince my little brother to come on and tell you, because his class, his whole group, was the actual ones that got her fired, and I wanted to get her fired for a long time. So, that's another video, but every time I failed that class pretty much. I barely passed. And you want to know why? Because I didn't know anything, because we didn't learn it. A lot of kids were like that. And you want to know why? Because she didn't stop talking about everything besides French. Literally, I think we talked about 4 French things in that whole damn thing. We did 2 vocab sheets, and that was it. The rest of it, we just sat there and listened to her dumb stories, and then she failed us. She still acted like she gave us the sheets, but she didn't, and it's bullcrap. Now, my Spanish teacher now does not do the same thing to that degree, but she does talk a lot about kind of off-topic stuff, a lot about graduation. I know it's something I need to think about, but I'm a sophomore. Everybody in this class is a sophomore except for, 3 juniors, and they know everything. They hear it every day. So, can you, give us a break and teach us some Spanish so we know what we're doing on the vocab? And one thing I hate about curriculum, I don't know about other schools, but our curriculum is so tight in freaking language classes that we learn vocab, 3 days later we're taking the test over it, and then we're moving on. And then we learn vocab again, a new set of vocab. Then 3 days later we're taking the test and we're moving on. You never go back to it. You can never get time to study unless you go in after class or you study at home. But it's in another language, so sometimes you need the teacher's help. And honestly, I'm in robotics, as you guys know now. So after school, I gotta get straight there. Sometimes they'll let me have an exception, but most of the time they probably don't want to give me an exception because I need to be there, and plus I'm their social media manager. I actually do have to be there so I can log what they do. And basically, it just makes me so mad because I have a C in that class because I bombed all these vocab. Alright, this really made me mad. This team went full retard right here and wouldn't get out of the doorway and got me killed. I want her to scream. So, I'm failing this class because of you, teacher, and other teacher who might be watching this. But I'm scared she'll find this because she's such a nice teacher. She's so cool, but that's just one thing I hate. She talks too much off topic and her methods of teaching aren't changing. And I mean, seriously, everybody's like, I think there's 2 kids in the class that have an A. So obviously her teaching methods aren't working, but yet she still stays course. So it makes me so mad! Like, seriously! Now, another thing that I can talk about is, it is kind of nice for them to talk in a lot of Spanish because it lets you start hearing the language. You might be using that argument, it's like, oh, you need to learn the language. That's the only way to learn is listening to it. Otherwise, you'll never know what you're listening for. I mean, yes, fair point. But the thing is that they usually go into their natural speaking. Like, they kind of forget that we don't know all this stuff because we had a really cool substitute. I think I'm going to try to get in contact with her because she learned Spanish from a Colombian woman that was native to Colombia for like 40 years. And she spoke purely Spanish the whole time. She was our substitute. Pure Spanish. She spoke like every other word was English just because she knew at least that we didn't know that word. So at least she was cool. But I feel like I could learn a lot of Spanish from her, so I think I want to try to find her and ask her to tutor me. I think that would be cool because she was really nice. But she spoke pure Spanish. I mean, she lived in Colombia for like 8 years, so she fully almost blocked out the English language while she was gone. So she goes straight to Spanish and then kind of forgets, we are English speakers. Now, why am I also upset about I have to take language classes? Don't you want to learn? It's like, don't you want a good job or something? Well, the thing is, I know like 50% of Americans speak Spanish, but the one thing is, this is going to sound like hardcore liberal, I think. Honestly, if you're going to move here, we shouldn't have to adapt to you. You should adapt to us. Now, if you only speak Spanish, but you can listen to English, that's really cool. I mean, I might not be able to understand, but if you understand a language, you can find some way to translate. So that's kind of what I'm going for, is just to listen to Spanish and, not speak it. I mean, I'll be able to speak some words, but so far it's not looking promising. That's the end of the game. What do you guys think? What Spanish class or what language class are you taking? Yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Definitely leave a like and a comment and your thoughts on the comment section. And if you want to hit me up with a follow on Twitter, definitely let me know, because you can just go follow me and I'll find out.